Hello children, today we will be doing English prose The Storyteller by H. Munro. He was also called Saki. This story, kindly open page 85 of your textbook and pay attention. It is a story about 5 characters. There are three children in the story, and their aunt and a bachelor who are traveling by a train to Templecombe station. The boy's name in the story is Cyril. They have a small elder sister and a little more smaller sister and their aunt. Now, the story is based on their behavior. Their behavior is very mischievous. They do not listen to their aunt because they have already lost their parents, and the aunt is taking them to her place. While they are traveling, they meet a bachelor who is listening to all these. The aunt only replies them with don't, and every time she is trying to pacify them by controlling them. Now we will read, this is the introduction of the story. Now please pay attention as we go to the second paragraph. Don't, Cyril, don't. These are the words that are used by the aunt. Followed now, because the small boy begins smacking the cushions of the seat, producing a loud cloud of dust. And each time the aunt has to shout, don't, Cyril, don't. She calls them and asks them to sit and look out of the window. The child moves reluctantly. What is the meaning of reluctantly? Without any obedience, very slowly towards the window. Why are these sheep being driven out of their field? The aunt is unable to answer the child, so she again repeats, I don't know. Now, I expect they are being driven to another field. This is the answer that she gives to the child. The child is unsatisfied with her answers and keeps repeating his arrogant behavior again and again. Perhaps the grass in the other field is better. This is what fatuously means foolishly, the aunt replies. What is the meaning of fatuously? Foolishly. Why is it better? Come, the swift, inevitable question. This is what the boy replies. Why is it better, the grass? Because it is swift, quick, and inevitable. Inevitable means unbelievable. Oh, look at those cows, explained the aunt. Aunt tries to distract the child's attention and shows him some cows in the field and some other animals like bullocks, and also speaks to them, drawing their attention to a rarity. Rarity is a strange behavior of the aunt. Aunt also behaves according to the children's behavior. Now please turn the page to page 86. Can you follow? Why is the grass so in the other field? Persisted Cyril. Persisted means went on asking again and again to the aunt. The frown on the bachelor's face was deepening to scowl. The bachelor was sitting and he was frowning. He was getting angry with the children, and that could be seen on his face. A scowl is an angry look. He was a hard, unsympathetic man. The aunt decided in her mind she was utterly unable to come to any satisfactory decision about the grass in the other field. She could not reply to the children. The smaller girl created a diversion by beginning to recite. She changed. Diversion means to change the attention. When you are looking at something in the class and suddenly your friend calls you then your diversion is, you are distracted and you divert your attention towards your friend. On the road to Mandalay, she only knew the first line, but she put her limited knowledge to the fullest possible use. She repeated the line over and over again in a dreamy but resolute and very audible voice. What is the meaning of audible? Loud voice. Followed? When we talk, we call it audible. Followed? It seemed to the bachelor as though someone had a bet with her that she could not repeat the line aloud 2,000 times without stopping. She was repeating and repeating because she had gone foolish with the behavior of the 3 children. Whoever it was who had made the wager was likely to lose his bet. It was looking as though somebody had betted upon those children. "Come over here and listen to a story," said the aunt. At last, she was pacifying them by telling them a story. When the bachelor had looked twice at her, when the bachelor was looking at her, frowning at her, and she decided to tell a story to the children to keep them in attention with what was going on. The train moved listlessly towards the aunt's end of the carriage. The train was moving and moving. Evidently, her reputation as a storyteller did not rank high in their estimation. She had no good reputation. She was not known for telling stories. She was a failure. Reputation is a success. When you are good at something, it is called your reputation. When you try again and again, it is called reputation. And her estimation was her opinion. She had a high opinion about herself. She thought she will pacify her 3 children to listen to her story. In a low, confidential voice, interrupted at frequent intervals by loud, petulant questionings from her listeners, she began an unenterprising and deplorably an uninteresting story about a little girl who was good and made friends with everyone on account of her goodness. This is what she began to tell the story to the children, that there was a small girl and she was known for her goodness, and finally saved from a mad bull by a number of rescuers who admitted or admired her moral character. People were all in favor of the girl because of her good behavior, so they came to rescue her. Rescue here means to save. Followed now? Wouldn't they have saved her if she hadn't been good? This is what the children began to ask, especially the bigger of the small girls. Asked the aunt, if she was not good, anybody would not have saved her. This aunt was only trying to tell them that their behavior is not good. But if she would tell them, they would pay more tantrums. Because of that, exactly the question that the bachelor had wanted to ask. The bachelor also wanted to ask the same question to the children. Well, yes, admitted the aunt lamely, excusing herself. But I don't think they would have run quite so fast to her help if they had not liked her so much. It's the stupidest story. The one of the child tells her that it is a stupid story, especially the small girl with immense convictions. Lot of doubtful reasons are given by the aunt. That is what she points at. I didn't listen after the first bit. It was a stupid story, said Cyril. Even the boy, Cyril, points out at the aunt, saying that it is a stupid story. Now listen to page number 87. The smaller girl made an actual comment on the story, and she also murmured repetition of her favorite lines. You don't seem to be a success as a storyteller. At last the bachelor got up from the corner and he told the aunt that you are not a successful storyteller. The aunt was bristled. What is the meaning of bristled? To get very, very angry. In an instant, at once, defense at this unexpected attack. She wanted to defend herself. Defense, she was not accepting this type of behavior from the bachelor. It's a very difficult thing to tell stories that children can both understand and appreciate. She said stiffly, she strongly said that it is very difficult to tell children about stories which are to be understood and appreciated. I don't agree with you, said the bachelor. Bachelor did not agree with the aunt. Perhaps you would like to tell them a story, was the aunt's retort. Aunt retorted, answered back to the bachelor. Tell us a story, demanded the bigger of the small girls. At last, the bigger of the smaller girls wanted the bachelor to tell them the story. So the stranger began. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Bertha who was extraordinarily good. Means she was extraordinarily means extremely. The children's momentarily aroused interest began at once to flicker. Their momentum of their interest went towards the bachelor, and they dreadfully started listening to him. She did all that she was told. She was always truthful. She kept her clothes clean, ate milk puddings as though they were jam tarts, learned her lessons perfectly, and was polite in her moments or in her manners. Whatever she did, she was all good. You could see she was polite, she could do her lessons on time, and she was also eating whatever was served to her. Was she pretty? Asked the bigger of the small girls. They asked, still they were not changing their behavior, the three children. They wanted to know if the little girl Bertha was pretty. Not as pretty as any of you, said the bachelor, but she was horribly good. Horribly means terribly good. There was a wave of reaction in favor of the story. All the three children began to look at the bachelor because their reaction towards the story had changed. The word horrible in connection with goodness. Both horrible means very bad, but the stranger or the bachelor had used these two words together, horribly and good. What link was there between horribly and good according to the child? According to the elder girl, was a novelty that commended itself. It seemed to introduce a ring of truth that was absent from the aunt's tales of infant life. They could make out that the aunt was not at all clear about her thoughts. There was no clarity in the thoughts of the aunt, but the bachelor had linked his clarity with horribly good words. And this is how the three children could understand the story of the bachelor. This is part 1. We have completed part 1, and I will send you the homework on your WhatsApp. Okay, you may write and send me back by 6 p.m. Okay, all the answers, the questions that I am giving you. The questions will be sent by 12 o'clock. Okay, then by that time you do the thorough reading of part 1. Part 2 we will be doing tomorrow. Thank you, children.